Welcome to the Naess Gallery at the Paint Spot. We are a retail store run by artists, and our gallery features local artists who inspire other artists. We value that art is not always pretty or commercial in nature, and our space has room for the unexpected. Currently showing in the Naess Gallery is work by Mark Henderson, who also uses the name Hende 27. His show is titled Tile Vision. Hi Mark, so is this the first time you've hung all these pieces up together?
Yes, it is. Well, I'm pretty happy to get my work up, especially around this time of the year with all the things that are going on. It's been hard to get work up, so it's nice to have pieces up and showing, yes.
Tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I took art classes through the U of A Extension, through night school, and graduated in 2017. And prior to that, I was working, and I'm retired now. But before I retired, I knew I wanted something to do with art. So that's why I got into taking art classes, because I do like art, and I knew it would work out. So that was something that I wanted to do.
So you use the name Hende 27 for your art name. What's the meaning behind this name, and is 27 a significant number to you?
Yes, well, the 27, Hende is short for Henderson. And originally I just went with Hende art. But since my brain surgery, the 27 stands for every day in Canada, 27 people are diagnosed with a brain tumor. So I started to use that number because of, obviously I had a tumor. I was on one of those 27.
How has your work changed in the way that you make it in relation to how your brain injury has impacted the way you do art now?
When I had my injury, after I came out of my surgery, I had vision issues. I had crossed eyes, so I had double vision. So, and I had a patch over one of my lenses, which made it difficult to, it was to correct my vision temporarily, but it was very hard to paint detailed work. So I had to come up with a new way to create, and this is what I decided was to work with larger format pieces. So I created tiles and started to use those in my works, as opposed to, because I couldn't see very well to do detailed work. So this is what I came up with. But I was very fortunate where the tumor was, because it was a very rare tumor, and it was about the size of a golf ball, and it was in my cerebellum.
Wow.
So I mean, it could have been a lot worse for me, a whole lot worse. But I had to learn to walk again. So there was that.
And how's your vision now for working
Well,
and stuff?
my vision is good. Yeah.
That's good.
No, my vision has been corrected, so that's a good thing. It was a long 2 years.
So your work is quite vibrant and has unusual color schemes. How do you decide on the color schemes for your works?
Well, I like vibrant colors for one thing, as you can see, and so I just vision, how I want to do the colors, and then I obviously look at a color wheel and see what colors are going to go together, and kind of go from there, right? So a lot of the colors are different. They're kind of a different amount of color, not colors that you would kind of normally see in works, I would think. So I like to play around with different color and different types of medium. I like to use, I've been working with gel medium, which a lot of some of these have in them. So I do like to experiment with different types of medium and the color.
How do you create the layers and texture in your work?
Okay, well some of the pieces with the tiles, they're painted mylar, and then I just put them on with pouring medium, and then other works, it's just thick medium, a thick paint with thick gel medium added to it, so to create the heavier pieces of paint. Well, a lot of my ideas, I get ideas from various places, like the piece over there.
No jacket.
Yeah, no jacket required. So that piece, at one day when I was driving by the stadium for the Elks, the Elks Stadium, as I was driving by there, if you look in there, you can see that all the seats are different colors, right? So that idea came from that, and I thought, well, I'll put the squares on there and make it look like it's falling, because that's kind of where I got this idea from. And then the big square in the middle, that's the I forget what I called that now. It's something to focus on, right?
Yeah.
In the piece.
That's a strong piece. There's some iridescent or some interference color in there too?
Yeah, there is, yeah.
I like that it gives a bit of matte, that sort of matte finish. So the matte and gloss play is interesting in your work too. That's that pouring medium is so glossy, but that you have these matte elements, I think, is a nice touch.
And this piece, it's another version of a piece that I did, because I also do photography and I also do print work. So this piece was based on another piece that I had done. It was a photographic piece, and it was called Into the Garden, and it had blue lines with a kind of a silver. It was silver at the top, and then I put this window of color in it, which I had painted on a piece of Mylar again. So then in my head I thought, well, I'll do something opposite of the blue colors. So I did the orange lines, and then that is a kind of a leathery looking brown. So, and all those colors are opposite of the colors that I had in my original piece.
Oh.
So it's completely opposite.
I like it because that's very unusual, and somehow it just looks delicious. Like, it's not colors I would have chosen, and it's not like they clash or they go together, but they just remind me of, like, maybe it's the chocolate and the orange, like, I don't know, but it looks it looks delicious. So
Yeah, it works. I really like that piece a lot.
So your printmaking, that's interesting, because I found the one behind you has a lot of almost like printmaking texture, stamping, like sort of a repetitive mark making nature that I liked.
Well, that piece now, that came from a photograph that a friend of mine gave me. And so what the photograph was of this kind of a marsh, right, with reeds coming out of it and then trees in the background.
Yeah.
So I took that idea and then I made the grids. I painted the ground and then made the grids, and then I kind of reimagined that picture and just kind of painted it that way, and then took like, 'cause it's all taped off, right?
Yeah.
That's how the picture made. And then I took the tape off, and that's what came out. So
Wow.
I can talk to you about that little piece there, the first one.
Okay.
That was a bigger version of a small piece that I had completed when I was recovering at the Glenrose Hospital. I was in art therapy there. So I did a small piece as part of my art therapy, and then I brought like the tile vision idea and created that piece from it. Another idea that how I started painting is I'll think of the title of the painting prior to painting it, and then I'll create the painting from that title that I thought of, and it just kind of evolves from there.
Nice. Great story of persevering. A lot of people are afraid to get started. You had to start all new. What advice would you give for someone that feels that they could do it, but they don't know where to start?
Well, you just have to, you have to trust yourself and know that you can do it, and just carry on and be positive about
Yeah.
things, right?
Yeah.
Take that first step, because if you don't take the first step, that's what you got to do in life, is take that step and keep going, right?
Where else can we see your work? Do you have any other shows coming up? Or?
Well, not at this time. I have another show which will be in Gallery 501 at the end of the year.
That's good.
But there'll be some of these pieces, and maybe some of my earlier work there too. But other than that, right now that's all I've got.
Are you on, like, you have a website as well?
Yes, it's hendeart.com.
Okay. And are you on Instagram at all, or?
Yes, I'm on Instagram also. It's under, my Instagram is Mark_Henderson, and then you can find me that way.
Okay. So, Mark, thanks so much for sharing your work with us. We really appreciate it. It was nice to gain some insight too into kind of your creative process and where it comes from.
You're welcome.
That's good. So Mark's show, Tile Vision, runs until September 14th, and we hope that you can come by and check out the show for yourself in person. And yeah, just to reiterate, you can see more of Mark's work at hendeart.com, and we'll post his Instagram handle as well. And all of Mark's pieces in the gallery are also available for sale.